You've been dreaming of sleeping with rain tapping on your tent, plants blowing in the breeze, hard rock and soil underneath your feet, taking step after step towards an eventual goal. Planning the day you'll leave, preparing all of your food, checking your gear over and over again. It's been months since you first come up with this plan, maybe even years, and now it's finally coming together. Not many even get to this point when it comes to through hiking. For the thousands that set out every year, there's more than double that who have other things get in the way. They wind up staying home for one reason or another. Maybe it was an issue with money, maybe family, possibly societal expectations, millions of different things that could have put a halt to your plans. But here you've told all your friends that you'll be gone for the foreseeable future. You've quit your job or finagled a way to put it on hold. You've been selling a lot of your possessions for extra cash, preparing to leave everything you know behind to go live in the woods for months. You've had to make sacrifices, cut back on spending, put projects and your life on hold. The reality of leaving your home, your friends, and your family, not to see them again for a while, is sinking in. But this is your dream, and you know it's not forever, so those thoughts get put to the back of your head. The packages of new gear seem to come in the mail daily. You have all of your things sprawled about on your living room floor, adding items, removing items, cataloging everything into a spreadsheet online. This backpack is everything you'll have and everything you'll need for the next 6 months. You take hike after hike, getting used to shoes, learning new gear, figuring out what you want and what you need. Weekend after weekend, you can be found camping somewhere near home as though the trip has already begun. The overnight trips are a great learning experience, but you know it'll be different out there. With your pack dialed in, your shoes still tight and new, you feel like a kid ready and nauseous for a first day of a new school. You and your hesitations and goals make that first step. Your trip begins here. The car is mostly silent with the occasional questions about the trail and what you'll do in this situation or that. The goodbyes are brief because you've never been good at them anyway. And now they've left and you are alone, making your way through an airport terminal to catch your flight. Your final destination awaits. The flight is long and sleep doesn't come easy. The excitement has you watching out the window for any recognizable topography, clouds, anything that may remind you of where you're going or where you're leaving. Seeing mountains would probably make you queasy anyway, considering soon you'll be deeply immersed in them. The flight comes to a close with turbulence and uncertainty. Where will I get water out there? Do I have enough food? Maybe I should have brought a towel to wipe off morning dew and condensation. And I hope the maps I have are good enough. No matter how well you've prepared, things will go wrong, and you know this. You will be uncomfortable, cold, lost, wet, hungry, thirsty, tired, sore, and much, much slower than you had anticipated. All of this is what you want, and you look forward to the worst of it. During the ride to the trail, you just want to mentally go over your gear again and consider your first days out on the trail. Full well knowing all of the money saved, the job potentially lost, and your ego could completely fall apart. Soon, all you'll have to do is walk. The time has come and you couldn't be more excited, shaking with nerves almost to the point of screaming. You've only seen this place in pictures, so it takes a while to find your bearings and figure out where the trail begins. But there it is, the first blaze, the first sign, the first steps. You're at the start, the beginning, the trailhead to this long-distance hike you've been dreaming of for so long. So many have quit right here, before getting more than a mile away from this very spot. You've done your research, you've planned ahead, you've got this. Your cab driver or maybe a random bystander takes your photo with the sign and asks, "How far are you going?" And you tell them, "All the way." Left alone now, you begin. Your first steps are like magic, and even though you're climbing a mountain, it feels as though you could do anything. You know this feeling won't last, so you enjoy it for the time being. Whether 1,000 have started before you or only a tiny handful, you're poised to catch up. Maybe share some excited words together, catch a meal, or even camp among one another. Some other hikers you meet seem much more experienced than you, which has you nervous. Can I actually do this? But then, others are woefully unprepared, which again levels you. Many have never used any of their gear before. Some will quit within the first hours or days of their hike. Everyone hopeful to make it the full distance. Everyone wants to go the entire way, but you know, the odds are not in anyone's favor. The ground is fresh and the flowers bloom. The climbs get progressively harder as you march on. The trees quake in the wind and the mountains seem to never end. From your first major viewpoint, you get to look back on all the ground you've traveled and are amazed. I've walked that far. From every different walk of life, the hikers seem to come. Some of them you like, some of them you don't. In the end, everyone walks their own pace, and eventually you find yourself in a rhythm with a group. Around the campfire at night, you all laugh and try and come up with bad nicknames for one another. Just to yourself, you think, don't do anything stupid. They'll be naming me after that and calling me by it for the rest of my life. Whether you choose to stick with that group, fall behind, or forge ahead, you will surely be seeing them a lot more during this trip. It's been a month on trail now, and you're starting to feel like a hardened through hiker. Your muscles feel strong regardless of how heavy your pack is. Your lungs can handle the climbs, and your knees take on the descents with ease. The smell of town food is alluring, but you know there are miles to make. Occasionally you get lost and have to backtrack, but you try and laugh it off. Occasionally a heavy storm rolls in while you're on a ridge. Dangerous, but you take it gritting and smiling. The cold mornings suck, but it's also invigorating. It feels like nothing can stop you, until something does. Whether it's that debilitating chafing between your legs, the seemingly endless rain, your funds that are slowly running out, friends and family that you haven't seen for so long, how drained of energy you are, and of course, there's still another climb, and another climb after that. In many ways, it's breaking you. Your figure is leaning out no matter how many calories you consume, and there's this undescribable need to push and make more miles as if there's this looming deadline. Some break down and cry. Some quit. Some find a town and hole up for a week. Some slow down, and some speed up or skip sections. How could it be possible that you've come this far and still you have so far to go? This is what separates those that finish and those that don't. How badly do you want it? Reach deep down within yourself. Find that strength that will keep you moving. And always remember, tomorrow is another day. This is something I want to do. This is something I love doing. Whether the trail ahead is easy or hard, it doesn't matter. You will keep going. All of those you've met along the way are either ahead, behind, or have quit. You don't blame them. The only thing you really can do is try and laugh at the situations you've put yourself in and those yet to come. Wandering with a purpose, your body is breaking down, but you know your time is coming. Many around you are slowing down to enjoy the final 100 miles. Everyone is tired, but you're just ready to be done. Cycling, knitting, painting, hanging with friends, family dinners. There's so much you miss about being home. You have lists upon lists of things you want to do when you're back in the real world. Foods you want to eat, people you want to see, but there's still miles to make, and at this point, you've come too far to stop now. No amount of rain, no matter the distance between towns, regardless of how many mountains are in the way, you are moving forward with what almost feels like a vengeance. So many people along the way have helped you get this far, and you won't forget them. The trail angels who have given you rides, let you into their homes to eat, shower, or even sleep. Every little bit has come together for you to be where you are. Your own determination, strength, and perseverance has taken your body hundreds and thousands of miles through some of the toughest terrain you could possibly imagine, and then some. Friends you've met will surely become lifelong as you bounce stories off each other for years to come. It's an interesting experience you found yourself in, and somehow, no matter how long you've been at it, it seems like it hasn't been long enough. The days are getting shorter and you fight for the miles. Most days it seems like you're hiking hours in the dark just to progress. The end is near and your body knows it. No matter how much you try to slow down, it seems like the miles just keep disappearing. It's a weird balance of what's happening around you. You love it out here, but some hate it at this point, and they just can't make themselves stop. Some, even just days away from the finish, want to quit. Some do, and it's sad to see. Whether they just can't take it anymore or they are totally out of money, it's in everyone's minds. How many days until I reach the terminus? This has been your life, and it's both passed in a minute and felt like an eternity. At times you felt like it would never end, but here it is, just miles away. Your pace quickens with excitement, some almost running, and few in a full-on sprint, others slowing to a snail's pace just to take those final moments in. Everyone has agreed to wait for one another at the top. You want to take pictures together and spend the final moments together. So many you know didn't make it. The stories travel the trail faster than they could if everyone had internet. These final miles are the easiest of them all, full well knowing that any step you take after finishing the official trail will be the hardest you've ever taken. Other hikers and random bystanders cheer on those who slowly trickle into the end. Your hands touch the signs smiling or crying. There is no in-between, even if you don't show it. Somehow you've wandered all this way and now you're done. The journey couldn't have been sweeter. It couldn't have been harder. And the friends you've made couldn't be better. Time stands still as you see your friends turn the corner like you just had. Pictures are taken and you all find your way back to a town for one last meal before everyone starts finding their way home. Some linger, some hitchhike home with newfound skills, some fly, and some take buses. It's a bittersweet feeling to have been chasing this goal for so long and now to have achieved it. From the planning and preparing to all the miles walked, you've done it. You're a thru hiker.